Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We all think we know the figures who have led the United States, but today, we're diving deep into some truly surprising stories. Get ready for 10 little-known facts that will completely change how you see US presidents. Let's get started. Kicking things off at number 10, did you know that Abraham Lincoln was a champion wrestler? Before he was delivering the Gettysburg Address, young Abe was a force to be reckoned with. Standing at 6'4", he competed in about 300 matches and reportedly lost only one. He was so skilled that he was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's a very different image from the thoughtful statesman we usually picture. Coming in at number 9, Andrew Jackson, the 7th president, was involved in as many as 100 duels. Most of these were settled before any shots were fired, but he lived with a bullet lodged near his heart for years from a duel in 1806 where he defended his wife's honor. This highlights the rough-and-tumble political culture of his time. It's hard to imagine a modern politician settling disputes this way. At number 8, let's talk about Ulysses S. Grant. We know him as a Civil War general and president, but he had a peculiar weakness. He couldn't stand the sight of blood. This is incredibly ironic for a man who commanded armies in some of the bloodiest battles in American history. He also disliked rare meat and would only eat his steak cooked completely well done. It just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover. Number 7 on our list concerns Grover Cleveland. He's unique for being the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms, as the 22nd and 24th president. But here's the twist. While he was the sheriff of Erie County, New York, he personally served as the hangman on 2 separate occasions. He believed he shouldn't delegate a duty he was responsible for, no matter how unpleasant. That's a level of hands-on leadership you don't see anymore. For number 6, let's look at a presidential pet project. Herbert Hoover and his wife, Lou Henry Hoover, would often speak in Mandarin Chinese in the White House to have private conversations. They learned the language while living in China during the late 1890s, where Hoover worked as a mining engineer. Imagine being a staff member and hearing the president and first lady discussing state secrets in a language you couldn't understand. Halfway through at number 5, we have James Madison, the father of the Constitution. Despite his immense intellectual stature, he was the smallest president in U.S. history. He stood at just 5 feet 4 inches tall and often weighed less than 100 pounds. It is a powerful reminder that physical size has absolutely no bearing on the impact a person can have on the world. His legacy, of course, is gigantic. At number 4, we find a story of incredible resilience. Theodore Roosevelt was scheduled to give a speech in Milwaukee in 1912 when he was shot by an assailant. The bullet was slowed by his thick coat and a 50-page speech manuscript folded in his pocket. Instead of going to the hospital, Roosevelt insisted on delivering his 90-minute speech, famously saying, "It takes more than that to take down a bull moose." He spoke with the bullet still lodged in his chest. Our third fact is a rather charming one. Calvin Coolidge, known as Silent Cal for his quiet demeanor, had a menagerie of pets at the White House. This included the usual dogs and cats, but also a pygmy hippo named Billy, a wallaby, a black bear, and 2 lion cubs he named Tax Reduction and Budget Bureau. The White House must have felt more like a zoo during his presidency. This routine was interrupted one morning when a female journalist, Anne Royal, reportedly sat on his clothes until he agreed to an interview. Talk about an ambitious reporter. And finally, our number 1 little-known fact that will change how you see U.S. presidents concerns Thomas Jefferson. We know him as a founding father and the author of the Declaration of Independence, but he was also a bona fide foodie and scientist. He was obsessed with paleontology and kept a collection of fossils at the White House, hoping to find evidence of a living mammoth. He also popularized ice cream, macaroni and cheese, and French fries in America after discovering them during his time in France. So, next time you enjoy a scoop of vanilla, you have Thomas Jefferson to thank. And there you have it. 10 facts that hopefully give you a new perspective on these historical figures. They weren't just politicians. They were complex people with unique quirks, strengths, and stories. Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next dive into history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.